everybody. It's Tony Schiavone of All Elite Wrestling, and this is True Hill Heat. And I said it right, you motherfuckers.
Hello, hello, hello. It is me, your True Hill Phenom SP3. We are live on the True Hill Heat, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch for another edition of AEWramble, episode 24, Return to the Mothership. We are here to review the TBS premiere of AEW Dynamite, featuring the AEW World Championship matchup between Hangman Adam Page and Bryan Danielson, a main event of AEW World Tag Team titles of Lucha Bros versus Jurassic Express, and one of the scariest, nastiest, sickest injuries that you will ever see in professional wrestling. We got a lot to unpack on this episode. I am back once again with the man of 42,000. Well, yeah, 42,000. Wow. 42,000 subscribers. The man for TV and movie. The man on the couch that doesn't like wrestling. And Tony Khan's biggest fan. Oh, yes, we're going to be asking him about that tweet. He is Jimmy Macram.
Hello, lady, just one of you. And gentlemen, welcome. Welcome to the Mothership.
What was all of that for?
That's so cringeworthy. Shut up. Enough of that. The Mothership. It's been 15 years since I've been here. Shut up. Who cares? Well, he wouldn't have been born then. Who gives a fuck?
You're so why do you have this much hatred this early in the day, man?
Oh,
still pretty early. Pretty early.
Early for me, Jesus.
For most people, conspicuous by his absence is the hot take machine, Marcus Cash. We are sure he will join us at some point today, maybe, possibly.
Here's hoping.
Hopefully. But yes, we are here to discuss AEW Dynamite's TBS premiere. We're going to get into everything. But, of course, if you're watching this for our first AEWramble of 2022, we want to say Happy New Year. And, of course, drop a thumbs up on this video. Share this video with all your wrestling fans, friends, and family on all your favorite social media platforms. If you are new to the True Hill Heat YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button. Hit the bell to stay notified for all the great content here. We got plenty of content coming up over the next couple of days. You got Blunt Impact later on tonight. Tomorrow, we drop my exclusive interview for True Heels BTR with Shane Taylor, who is now a free agent, officially a free agent. I spoke to him before his contract was up with Ring of Honor, so we can discuss, everything coming out of Final Battle. You can hear about that tomorrow right here on the True Hill Heat YouTube channel. And we're doing live watch-alongs for AEW Battle of the Belts as well as Impact Hard to Kill on Saturday. And True Hill Heat returns for the first episode of 2022 with myself, Miss Chrissy Love, and special guest Rich Fan of PW Torch. So a lot to unpack on the week. So True Hill Heat is going to be coming back, but we're going to start off this edition right here, Jimmy, by asking you one word to describe your feeling on the TBS premiere of AEW Dynamite.
Average.
There we go. The words of Jimmy Macram. We got in the live chat already, the Negro Buck, Nick Jackson, saying, "What's up, my good brothers?" Watching along with my close personal friends, Mart Jane. I guess that's Mary Jane.
No, that's simply a ghetto version of Mary Jane, I assume. What is that, sir? Come on, sir. Come on. Don't do that.
Mart, not even Marty. Mart Jane. Annika Wilson is here with us. Thanks for joining us. Annika said it was like a car crash. I kept rewinding it to see what actually happened. Everybody's with the with the
Where was
spells.
this look up? Annika? Oh, it's two of you.
There you go. There you go. John Jeffries says, "Hey guys, so glad to hear Phoenix hasn't fractured anything, which is a minor miracle." Absolutely, we're gonna get into that. Yeah, it was just announced on Twitter that it wasn't a broken arm like many believed backstage after AEW Dynamite closed. What we found out today is that it was just a dislocation.
Like many believed? What do you mean? Like
many saw.
Look at his fucking arm. He's an alien. He should be investigated. Call somebody.
We will get to it, ladies and gentlemen. But yes, we are here to discuss AEW Dynamite from January 5th, 2022, the first Dynamite of the new year, as well as the first Dynamite on TBS from Newark, New Jersey, the Prudential Center, and they're starting out hot this week, Jimmy, with the AEW World Championship on the line. Bryan Danielson getting a shot at Hangman Adam Page. We first see the judges for the world title match and his former world champions, Paul White, who was a world champion in WWE, WCW, and ECW, Jerry Lynn, former ECW world champion, and Mark Henry, a former WWE champion. Were you disappointed in the choices of judges? I think I wasn't, because they didn't hype it. They didn't announce it. So I was like, there's a reason they're doing this. It's not going to be anything that's supposed to get anybody excited. So I think that's the reason. I knew that was the reason why they didn't announce it ahead of time.
Agreed on that point. There's only a couple things. I'm going to start the Tony Khan bashing early, though I guarantee it will pick up as we move forward. Number one, we should have got to some type of space, because just having them sit in the crowd looks cheap. It looks preposterous. Even though I do like how they have them seated, with Jerry Lynn looking like a small child in the middle of them. And you know what? They weren't going to be used, so I guess it's not that big of a deal. Though that did kind of give away that they weren't going to be used. So I was like, all right, we're definitely wrapping this up before the hour was over. Okay.
We're not going to get it down to that. But this matchup started off a lot different, in my opinion, on the Hangman Page side of things. Hangman Page came out with a different type of intensity, a sense of urgency, trying to get the win, while Bryan Danielson was just doing more of the same, because he believed he could win the match, even if it went to the 60 minutes. So he was the cocky heel early on, doing the jumping jacks, drinking water on the outside, getting in the head, because he knows that's the weakness of Hangman Adam Page, is getting in his head, and he got the advantage early on. Once again, strong psychology in this matchup, with Bryan Danielson going after the arm, the lariat arm of Hangman Page. But it was the kind of the shift in this match. The first shift where it went up a notch is when Hangman Page catches Bryan Danielson on a tope suicida, gives him an over the head suplex. Bryan Danielson kneels down by the steel steps, and then he gives a drop toe hold to Hangman Page and drops him right on his head, right in the same spot that he was split open at Winter is Coming, and he was busted open again. And this is why I say pay attention to the picture-in-picture sometimes, because they had this brilliant moment of Bryan Danielson putting the bloody face of Hangman Page in front of the judges to be like, I'm winning, you see? great heel work by Bryan Danielson. This one just picked up in intensity even more when we got back into the ring. That's when Hangman Page lands a huge consecutive a few headbutts to Bryan Danielson, and he gets split open. And we might have one of my favorite moments in AEW history is leaking bloody Hangman Page doing sarcastic jumping jacks. If you didn't get excited during that moment, like, that was the moment I went on Twitter and I was like, Hangman Page has arrived. Like, this, if you thought like the win at Full Gear was good, the match against Bryan Danielson, that takes another type of performer to just have that type of moment where you're turning back on a heel, and it's a great babyface moment for Hangman Page. There's a big dead eye on the outside that you just saw. They fight to the top rope. This is just it just became a brutal fight. It was just unbrutal. Like, you knew 20 minutes into this match with both guys leaking from the head that this was not going to go 60 minutes this time. Both guys pulled off their big moves. Bryan Danielson with the yes lock, but Hangman Page gets out of it. And eventually Hangman Page hits a dangerous backdrop driver on Bryan Danielson. Then he hits the buckshot lariat to get the victory and retain the AEW World Championship in just over 29 minutes. My Lord, I will give my thoughts on this match, but first I will go to you, Jimmy. What was your thoughts on the opener? Hangman Adam Page versus Bryan Danielson 2.
As much as, first of all, start positive or negative? Start negative. How about we do that? Just why change? This build for both matches were complete shit, and I don't care what anybody else has to say about it. It's complete garbage for a world title match, not just a general build for a match, but for 2 world title matches featuring a new champion. Complete garbage. It is what it is. However, both matches have been splendid, and I think I like this one even more than the first one because I think this one did more for both guys, dragging on like a wider scale where I think I'm going to and listen, no disrespect to Ric Flair, who's losing his mind on Twitter. He's pulling a Scottie Pippen and just doing whatever he can to make money.
And Becky Lynch is Michael Jordan. He's just...
Rick, please stop. Like, you're the GOAT. And the only way you could not be the GOAT is for you to blow this up. Stop.
You don't have to do this.
But Dragon, to me, with this AEW run, is starting to put some distance, or trying to put some distance between himself and the rest of the field as far as in-ring work goes, because this match, to me, made Hangman untouchable. Like you mentioned, that jumping jack spot. I don't even know why that works as much as he's bloody. Is the crowd finally getting it halfway through the fucking third jumping jack? And he just looks like such a badass. I was like, he might have reached a point where Tony Khan's a complete idiot, and even I don't think he's a complete moron. He can't go backwards. He can't not be a main eventer from here on out. He just is what he is. Like Austin, I just am what I am for the rest of my life. I love the match. I love the intensity. I love the blood. I love the callback to the fucking Hangman's injury.
I didn't even talk about like the third shift, the third and final shift, when this became the battle of the headbutts, when they just started trading headbutts.
I love how JR got into it about halfway through, though I still don't like the team as much as like the Taz team. They're missing something. I think Tony and JR are a little too close. It bothers me.
They're a little too similar.
Yeah, it just feels weird. There's one big spot I want to talk about. Nah, fuck it. It'll come back if it's important. Yeah, I love the Dragon working over there. Shivani pointed it out. Dragon working over the arm. Then Hangman busts open. He's like, fuck it. I'm just going to punch him in the face as many fucking times as I can.
And like, it was like direct shots where you can see he's trying to make him bleed more.
Dragon knows exactly what he's doing because he'll make sure you see his hand on his face before he does it. And then he'll pull back and do this. It just looks like he just punched that cocksucker in the face. Yes, he did. It was great. I love that fucking match. I don't know what the number is. I get the first one. I think I gave it 4 3/4. I'd probably do the same for this one, except like with a star next to it.
Oh my God! Will you just go to full?
I can't go 5.
That's fine. That's a 5-star. That's 5 stars.
Jesus, fuck.
That's 5 stars. I saw 2 5-star matches in one day between New Japan and AEW, and I say this is better than Okada and Ospreay from Wrestle Kingdom in the Tokyo Dome. So this just felt, yeah, I agree with you. Like there was something missing from the first match. It was impressive that they wrestled the 60 minutes, but you didn't feel like Hangman Page came out of that as well as he went going in. This one, both guys come out looking like world beaters. Like there's no one else in the company that could beat Bryan Danielson, and there might not be anyone who can dethrone Hangman Adam Page. And on the person that we're all thinking should beat Hangman Adam Page, it looks like his situation is going on a little bit longer. So we may get a longer Hangman Adam Page run. Like it may go into Double or Nothing, but my question to you, so you say the first match is better than the second match is better than the first match. Where does this match rank in the greatest AEW Dynamite matches that you've seen?
Oh, shit. Shit. I'd probably go second. I gotta go Dragon Omega 1. That match is perfect. I can't explain. I might be doing that Rock Hogan thing where the crowd and this and that and the whole thing makes it more than it is.
Yeah.
So I go Dragon Omega, this match, and then Go Bigger versus Thunder Rosa.
Wow.
I think that's the move.
Wow. Yeah, I said this is in the conversation because I feel like the tag team matches have to be in a separate category than the singles matches now with AEW, because when you talk about Revolution 2020, All Out 2021, like those two matches, I don't know if the singles matches can really compete with just on crowd reaction, the work, the excitement, the moment, everything. But as singles matches, I do agree with you. Those three are right up there. I would put Hangman and Omega from Full Gear behind them, but they're in that conversation as well. And yeah, but Omega and Pac, I think it's so gone in the past, but that's one I want to hold on to still. The Iron Man match from 2020, I still want to hold on to that. But man, that used to be the best Dynamite match of all time. But the last 12 months, they've just had these epics.
It's Two Dragon is what it is. I'm so shocked he still looks good. I'm so disappointed in Ric Flair. I'm gonna stop bringing it up. It just hurts my feelings.
Yes, I'm going 5 stars. Jimmy goes 4 3/4 because he hates 5 stars. He hates 5 stars as much as Meltzer loves going over 5 stars.
Yes,
EVB says, good God, that Hangman Danielson match. I loved all the callbacks to their first match. Felt like the culmination to Bryan's first chapter. He hit all his finishers and submissions. None worked. That is a great point. That is a great point. The Buzaiko knee was a great near fall. He tried the guillotine. So yeah, he did all his finishers and nothing could work. This really, the Omega match was great. I agree with anyone who thinks that was a match of the year candidate. I think the first match between these two guys was impressive, going 60 minutes. But this one, more than all of those, has really solidified Hangman's spot as the top babyface, and not just probably all Elite Wrestling, in all of wrestling right now.
Wow. I don't watch, so that sounds accurate, I guess.
I mean, the only other guy I say that can compete with him is Brock Lesnar, which is kind of like it's kind of just surprising after all this time of him being a monster heel that he's this good as a babyface. I think that is more of the surprise feeling why he competes with him. We also got Negro Buck also mentioning to me, don't forget Jalen was also ROH World Champion. Yes, you do. I do forget that. Try to forget that because he ended Nigel's run, and I didn't agree with that. Yes. EBB says Hangman proving why he's one of the best too. Man is only 30 years old, by the way. Those star jumps, jumping jacks was amazing. Favorite Danielson matches in AEW have been both these Hangman matches. I mean, you can honestly, I might think about like hitting up Wrestle Talk or Sportskeeda. I might have to do a top 10 Bryan Danielson AEW matches already. We're less than 6 months into this run, and you already could put up a comparable list to anyone in AEW history of top 10 Bryan Danielson matches.
Certainly, he's on another planet, and it feels like they're letting him do his thing. They got a lot of respect for him. Hangman in the mess, you imagine.
Yep. Very true. Very true. We got also Ninja Mortis here with us saying you already know what it is. THH is Hook Country. Absolutely getting ready for Rampage. We're going to be up in Rampage. It's the Hook Army. First Hook victory of 2022. And we'll get to his opponent and what he had to say on this show. John Jeffrey says, I did like Danielson making sure to do so much in front of the judges. Like impressed his dad. Are you watching this? Please pay attention. Dad, look at me. Like, yo, this is like, you could tell this is the heel character Bryan Danielson wanted to do in WWE, but was never able to do. Because he has so much joy when he's doing all this stuff.
He does. He can't stop smiling. It's hilarious.
Everybody was a big fan of the Hangman jumping jack bit. Was incredible. Anikas, yes, so good. We also got Alan Weinstein here with us. What's going on? Alan Weinstein saying SP3 and Big Jim. What's good? What's up? Chat fam. We got EBB saying Paul White and Mark Henry. Oh yes, two men who have experience in 60-minute draws. Big Show notes. Why are they hitting? Why are they not hitting KO punches?
It did seem like an odd choice if they had to do like subtle kind of see who's in charge. Jerry Lynn's a good choice. I'm not sure who would be next. You had to go get Bret Hart and I don't know, somebody else.
Yeah, you could have got Bret. If you get him on a Zoom call, like if it was Zoom judges.
Fucking get Omega's ass out of bed.
Yeah, I didn't think because I heard one idea that somebody said, oh, it should be the three former AEW World Champions. But that's what a lot of people said, that they didn't want to bring Omega back this soon because he's still, recovering from all his injuries. And
I need to sit down. I don't need to do anything. Just sit here with a pen and pretend to write. Just draw your fucking Hey Kitty.
Well, you got to do something. You got to do an angle or something. You're going to have Kenny get out of bed. Nick Jackson says, man, those two were trying to give each other CTE, headbutting each other while pouring blood. Match of the year candidate already. Absolutely. This is an early match of the year candidate in all of wrestling, but especially in AEW. Were you a fan of the bloodshed, the blood going everywhere? These guys were even before Danielson gets cut, he was covered in Hangman's blood.
Yeah, Dragon was a gusher. It kind of reminded me of bunnies on Rampage.
Oh man, did we since we're talking about blood, was that match? Oh my god, I have never seen a match that had the bar this low and they exceeded it like this high. Like, oh my god, they went out there and just shocked me.
I know. Tony Khan was slapping around before the match. I appreciate the effort, ladies. I'm sorry. But more importantly, I thought it was a good match. I a little overblown because I didn't get to watch it right away. So all I kept hearing about was how great this fucking match was. I think it was bloody. It wasn't that great. Penelope was fantastic. Bunny was great. Tykante was really good. But who can admit, now that we see all four of them in the ring, right, together, can we admit that Anna Jay is not even on the same level as these three somehow? I
thought Anna Jay was a little ahead of Bunny, but Bunny went out there and just showed she is I don't know. It's like a mixture of Daphne in how Daphne used to just put her body on the line. That's how Bunny was. Bunny took all the big bumps besides that Got style power driver. Through the ringside table, it was Bunny taking all, and then that slip that could have been a botch, but they just went with it, was great at the end. The split into the thumbtacks, before she got choked out with the fire. I was like, oh my god, her ass is full of tacks.
Fucking ow! I thought it was fun. I thought it was really good. I was impressed.
EBB says, I don't agree. Decent to good build with two phenomenal matches that built perfectly. I like that Bryan got sloppy once he saw Hangman was bleeding. He just stopped targeting the arm. A war. 5 stars.
Decent to good build. Here's the second build. Hangman and fucking Dragon have an in-ring, almost in-ring confrontation. Dragon's on the ramp. They talk for a little bit and decide we're going to have judges when we don't hear from them next week. That's the build to the second world title match on fucking TBS. That's decent to good build. What part about that is even fucking decent? And then the first build is Dragon running through these bums while Hangman struggles on commentary. What about this is decent to good, Bill? Please, somebody tell me. I'm not gonna have you work my cold back up. I'm keeping it together. I'm supposed to be resting. Keeping it together.
Frantic World joining us. What's up, Frantic World? Thanks for joining us, big homie. You, my boy Blue says 4.5 stars. 4.5 stars for him. Okay. EBB says for me, this was better than Okada versus Ospreay. Don't let this guy don't let Romeo let you hear that. Romeo is thinks Okada and Ospreay was better. Annika says the draw was stupid, but it helped with this match. So yeah, I said this on Believe in Pro Wrestling podcast when we reviewed this episode that for all the people that dislike the draw helped this match. That's what it made sense why these two guys were acting in the manner that they did due to their previous match going to the draw.
Okay, what if somebody who watched that fucking draw decided I'm never going to watch this nonsense again and didn't even get to see the second match, which I was thoroughly close to doing because that was horseshit. Come on, man. So make excuses for these people. He's never going to learn if you make excuses for him. He's like a child, a small, semi-sexist, semi-racist child. Let him learn.
We got you, my boy Blues gave 4.5 stars to Hangman and Danielson. and then he says that woman's street fight was 5 stars.
Are we just counting blood spots? Like, this is preposterous. Stop it.
He's doing a star rating by counting the blood and like how much blood is in the thing is 5 stars. 5 stars. Attica says Danielson versus Omega is still number 1 for her. We will get to Frantic World asking, did Jimmy like the main event? We will get to that, Frantic World. We will. EBB says, I think the atmosphere helped Omega versus Bryan to a phenomenal match. For me, pure story and action. This is number 1, which might be recency bias, but I don't give a fuck. I'm unshamedly a Hangman mark.
Fair enough at this point.
And on the opposite end of the spectrum, Alan Weinstein says, fuck Hangman.
Jesus. Strong. Why?
Yeah, that's a little strong. EBB says, Allie and Bud looked fucking insane. Indeed it did. It was like adding up.
Yes, it was just
taking up.
Okay.
Well, Annika Wilson says that match humped. AEW tables hate women. Why won't they break?
Because Tony Khan is giving them birth, so they hate women too.
I don't know why I give you these alley oops. I don't know why. Why do you hate this man? Like,
why does he hate women? Didn't this one give birth to him? All right, no. How does he get away with this? This doesn't even say anything anymore. How does he get away with this?
Next up, the Acclaimed don't like Sting messing with them, and we'll have a music video next week on Sting.
I actually like this segment. I just hate it after fucking watching that fantastic match, and then you remind me that wrestling is fake.
If you need some material, Acclaimed, we got you. We got you here on AEWramble. That's what we're here for, ladies and gentlemen. Next up was Maxwell Jacob Freeman versus the captain, Sean Dean. However, when the bell rings, here comes CM Punk, and he chases off MJF. Dean isn't sure what's going on, but CM Punk kicks him in the ribs, hits the GTS, and in 47 seconds, for the first time in his AEW career, MJF has a losing record as we get only, I think, the second disqualification loss or disqualification in AEW history. I believe the last one was QT Marshall versus Cody Rhodes, I believe, when Arn Anderson was the referee and QT punched him out. I think that was the last DQ that's happened. So rare, but this one, I didn't hear anybody complain about it because I think it was the right call, and it made sense if it wasn't for that stupid promo from Punk last week. But yes, MJF doing the crying face before CM Punk hits the go to sleep on Shawn Dean. And then we are greeted by a promo exchange between Punk and MJF. MJF wants to know what's up with that, but Punk says that doesn't do MJF's record any favors. MJF isn't happy and says Punk is right back where he started because he knows without MJF he is nothing. It was MJF that made him relevant. He's after Punk sold Tony Khan a bill of goods, and Punk is just an angry guy who runs his mouth a lot. And like when MJF compared himself to Roddy Piper, and CM Punk, took offense to that. He says he wants to know if PG Punk thinks he's as good as Piper because Piper was actually good enough to main event at WrestleMania. And maybe if MJF doesn't start getting some more respect around here, maybe he can main event a WrestleMania too. All Punk wants to do is beat MJF up. So he tells him to get in the ring and let's do it. And he tells him to go to greener pastures and main event night 4 of a buy one get one free extravaganza, and then get released faster than he lasts in the sack. What a fucking line. Like it was like CM Punk. He needs 4 bad jokes to get to one really, really good one. One really, really good one. MJF says, well, we'll do it next week. He accepts the challenge of CM Punk, and he says next week it will be CM Punk versus Wardlow. Punk says he and Piper would fight anyone at any time, but MJF is going to run out of people to hide behind, and then he will get put to sleep. I really enjoyed this. This was less just taking jabs at one another, which seems to be the theme if they're not in the promo together. If they're just doing a promo alone about each other, they're just taking like kind of cheap jabs at each other. When they go back and forth, the jabs have a little bit more venom in it. So I felt like this got them back to where they were, where they have a hot feud once again. What did you think about the promo exchange and the angle with the DQ for the DQ win for Shawn Dean?
What Shawn Dean gets. Now he's on TV twice. Was he on TV last week? Did he get his ass beat by Wardlow?
Yeah, I believe so.
His that'd be nice. Congratulations, sir. I know you have a backstage role as everybody who decided to defend Tony Khan and did a very quick look up about AEW's backstage policies. Even though they have no clue who Shawn Dean is, have no clue who Mega. They couldn't point her out of a fucking lineup, but they want to throw this into an argument. I would kick Cash right in the cunt if I could. What are we talking about? Right. Shawn Dean to CM Punk. I like the DQ finish. I don't know if it's the most babyface thing in the goddamn world, but whatever, it worked. The promo exchange I thought was well done. I don't think it can make up for Punk's nonsense last week, because even though MJF brought it up, I thought you said you were done with me. What were you? What? I was like, at least you acknowledge it. What the hell just happened? I thought we were done with this. What do we think's going on? We think Tony Khan just changed his mind and Punk and MJF are working around it?
I think Punk doesn't get a script. So I think Punk's direction from Tony Khan was, we got to stretch this out a week. And that's what Punk came up with last week. And he struck out. But today, I wouldn't say it was the home run that they had on Thanksgiving Eve, but it was a double. They hit a nice little double. They got back on base. They got back on base, and it feels like a hot feud once again. And it seems like we are going to the pay-per-view more than we're going to get it on television, which I think is the smart money, because this is a money feud that you want people to pay to see them fight.
Agreed. Hot take, though, after I've had some distance from it. Kingston Punk as a promo was better than Punk MJF the first time. It's definitely better than this one. But it just is. I'm sorry. There's something. Kingston's different. He's different. He's built different. And as much as I love Punk, he's definitely kind of fallen in love with MJF's style of we just swing. We just swing and see what happens.
It's like, it's, Eddie, it's like two parts of a rap battle, basically.
Okay.
When you're going with Eddie Kingston and MJF. Eddie Kingston has the gritty feel of like a beef battle or something like that, while MJF is like the punchlines.
Yes. And yes, and only punchlines. If they don't work, we're in real trouble. I do like MJF threatening to go WWE. It's like a reverse NWO thing. I love the idea, and it works for a piece of garbage.
Because the more he does it, the more I'm pretty confident he's not going.
No.
It's just something. It's just something to do. It's something to play with. Easy heat with the AEW fans. Easy to play off with the people that he's feuded with lately as well, with Jericho, CM Punk, Jon Moxley. Like he's Cody Rhodes. All of his big wins and big feuds are against those guys, so it makes sense for him to do this.
This is true. And if he does go, when he eventually comes back, because he'll have to. The heat. Oh, it's fantastic. I love it.
Oh, it'd be awesome. It'd be awesome. They should do like a real Brian Pillman, like how Brian Pillman fooled Eric Bischoff to release him from his contract so he could go negotiate with WWE. And Tony Khan should just say, like, I'm gonna let it expire. You can go decide a 1-year deal with WWE, do your time there. Then they're probably not going to treat you well, or they do, and it's even better for us.
That'd be awesome. He comes back, he throws that belt in garbage. That should be hilarious. Let's go.
Let's do it. We just came up with the best angle in wrestling history. Right here on AEWramble. We got you, my boy Blue says, I was like, damn, that's a sturdy table. Then I remembered those girls are only weight like $1.20. Yeah, that's
yeah. Yeah, sorry.
We got a super chat donation from Ricardo El Irino. He says, sup, y'all, first time live, so here is some love. Thank you, Ricardo. Appreciate you joining us live. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell to stay notified. And of course, if anyone wants their comment, their thought, your question for either myself or Jimmy read on screen, your super chat donations are encouraged and appreciated, and it makes sure we highlight you on screen. Getting some love in the live chat for Ricardo, saying, you, my boy Blue, welcome to the party, Ricardo. Catch the watch along. Yes, we had. I stayed up late for the Wrestle Kingdom watch along. That was a lot for me. I looked like death on that night one, but I was better for night two. It was better for night two. Annika says, I like this promo way better than their first promo. Wow. What do you think it was close to the first promo?
No, not even a little bit. I'm confused by this. I get why you might not like the first promo, but everything I don't like, I wouldn't like about the first promo. I wouldn't like about this promo either. And the first promo did better. That's confusing.
Yeah, I don't know. EBB saying Sean Dean is 1-0 while Bryan is 0-1. The numbers don't lie.
Absolutely. The Tony Khan diversity. Look at that. Black guys 1-0 while Bryan is 0-1.
Black. Yeah, hey, you guys won it. You guys won it. He's got a better record than MJF and Bryan and Bryan Danielson. Come on. And CM Punk. CM Punk's 0-0.
I don't know.
1-0. 1-0 is better than 0-0. One day, Jimmy will like TK. Do you think that day will ever come?
Listen, if he ever learns the book, I can get over the rest of that shit. I'm sure Vince is an awful person. But when he was doing this thing, I was not complaining.
You, my boy Blue, encouraging the chat. Come on, y'all. He says 19 people watching, only 14 likes. Hit that thumbs up to help the channel grow. It's free. Yeah, free. Free 99. Put that thumbs up.
You, my Blue, is working for free here. Jesus.
Appreciate that. Come on. You can show, soldier. EBB says, I love if MJF comes out next week and attacks or slaps Wardlow to give him the DQ win. That I didn't think of that. That's awesome. Furthers Wardlow's anger and babyface turn and the MJF/Punk feud all in one go. Yes, and it avoids a Wardlow loss. So I'm all for that. I'm all for that.
Stop him because they wouldn't call that. You'd have to have Spears him with a chair or something.
Yeah.
Hilarious. I'm here for this. That's a great idea.
That is a great idea. That's just brilliant. That's just brilliant, and it
It won't
fits.
happen.
It fits what their whole feud is about. Is anything you could do, I can do better. Pretty much, that's what their feud is. Annika says, well, Punk did hint that he was going to mess with MJF while they go for the title. That is true.
But then he just said, I'm going to do this until you give me a match.
He was talking out of both sides of his mouth during that promo, to be fair. You, my boy Blue, says 3 stars for the MJF CM Punk segment. Not enough blood.
Agreed.
There you go. That is how we're ranking things, ladies and gentlemen. CC Kingston joining us on Twitch says, gotta go back and rewatch from the beginning. Thank you. Yes, please do. It's on video on demand on Twitch now. I had to fix that on our Twitch, our first couple of streams over there. It wasn't on video on demand, but everything is up on demand now. EBB says, Kingston trying to talk seriously and be all passionate in a feud with Jericho will be interesting. Whoa, relax, you dipshit. Hope Jericho gets serious when that Eddie feud comes around. He won't. We're about to get into that segment, ladies and gentlemen. We also got Annika, who says the first promo was too scripted for me. She says, I want MJF to go to WWE just for 1 month. Let the real invasion begin.
I can't imagine how awful he could be there, just not taking any orders at all.
Imagine, like, just not listening, cutting promos over his time and stuff, cursing on camera. Like, are you trying to get fired? Like, yeah. And yes, EBB, yes, True Heel Heat Wrestling on Twitch. We have our Twitch channel. You can go over and subscribe over there. Anyone who has a Twitch, join us over there. Show some love. We're trying to let our Twitch audience, our Twitch community grow over there. So help us out if you will. But yes, let's get into the rest of the show, which next up was Chris Jericho for a chat and some bad hair dye. Oh my God. That was hard. I was like, damn, bro, you couldn't put in an extra penny from some Rogaine. Jericho says he's glad to be back on TBS, where he hasn't been since April 1999 when he lost to Booker T on Thunder. Jericho says, I think he cheated. He probably did. Last week, Jericho came out here while Eddie Kingston was in the ring, but he wasn't here to save Kingston. It was to take out 2.0. And he's here. Here comes 2.0 to interrupt him. And Jericho pops me. The only time he was able to pop me during this, when he says, ladies and gentlemen, Terrace and Phillip. That did pop me. That was the only thing that did pop me during this whole segment, though. Jericho then says they have a square head and that looks like a Post-it. He then says that the other one looks like a pinhead. Jericho goes back and forth between pinhead and squarehead before going outside to grab Floyd the Bat. Daniel Garcia sneaks from behind. They jump Jericho until Eddie Kingston, Santana, and Ortiz run out to make the save to set up the 6-man tag no rules match on Rampage. My God, why did they follow the CM Punk MJF great promo with this? Why, Jimmy?
Because Chris Jericho's a name, and I guess he's one that TK pays a lot to, so you want to get as much as you can out of him, and you don't have the balls to not let him do his own thing. Now, listen, I don't want to shat on Chris Jericho too much, because Chris Jericho is one of the GOATs. And he has terrible political ideas. He is consistently one of the most creative minds in wrestling, though that consistent. You remember Entourage? Fucking Johnny Drama goes, I've worked consistently the last 10 years outside the last 3. Chris Jericho is consistently one of the best brains in wrestling for the last 20 years outside of the last year or two. It's just... What the fuck?
We need to start, especially when he wears the leather jacket. We need to start calling him Johnny Drama. Jericho Drama.
Jericho Drama. What are you? When did he get so bad? Is he just? This was awful. This was, to me, the worst. I know people hate his misogynistic stuff. and to be fair, it is old, dated, silly, unnecessary even. But how do we know it doesn't come from TK? We know he's not a fan. But more importantly, at least that gets some type of reaction. This was just, what are you even babbling about? Pinhead? What is he, a poo-poo head? What is he, a potty mouth? This stinks. I hated all of this. And the fact that Eddie Kingston is here. And we can really light this feud up if we want. And we go with Chris Jericho instead. Makes me sick.
The fact that Eddie Kingston could have interrupted him instead of 2.0. Like, that's the best way to follow up from a CM Punk MJF promo. But
what the fuck? I gotta be honest. Dave Garcia looked pretty cool to me. Him threatening Eddie by doing this over and over again, I thought was hilarious. But Eddie needs to get as far with Chris Jericho as possible. I don't think Eddie can. Eddie might be able to save it. I think Jericho's just lazy. That's his physique shows. But I think Eddie could pull something out of it if he had to.
I don't know about you, but I feel like over the last month or so, the worst thing in the AEW has transferred from the Codyverse to the Jerichoverse.
Ooh.
I think the Codyverse, he had a good match with Sammy on Christmas Day. Had a good match last week on Rampage with Ethan Page. And they are acknowledging what the character is more and more with the little subtle things that he is, like going down the heel ramp and stuff like that. Well, Jericho, he seems oblivious to people not digging what he's doing right now.
Because these dopes think his entrance song, that's probably all he hears.
Yep.
He needs to go home somewhere. Or he needs to, you know what, he's a little late for it. Feels very like, I know you're a Lakers fan, and the season hasn't exactly been going the way you thought it was going to go, but it seems selfish to expect LeBron in year 19 to do all this stuff because he's in year fucking 19. I feel selfish expecting Chris Jericho to come with yet another character change when he's had God knows how many and pulled off God knows how many. I don't know how many he has left. How many can he pull out the hatch? Maybe he just wants to chill and be corny for the rest of his life.
Be a cornball. Why not? Why not? Oh man, that's horrible. Next we had a highlight package highlighting Jake Atlas making his debut on Dark Elevation and defeating. What happened?
I was thoroughly confused by this. I
Okay.
was so confused on what's going on with Jake. I'm like, first of all, he doesn't look impressive. Like physically, he doesn't. He looks like a wrestler from the 50s. Like, okay. Fucking showcasing for Al Capone. This looks awful. Then he talked. I think we heard I saw his face. The finisher I thought was fine, but it didn't look like anything I need to see. I was like, is Jake Atlas that big of a deal? Why is he getting all this time on fucking Dynamite? And then I looked him up. Jake Atlas, openly gay. And I went, oh, right. Okay. You're not catching me with the okay joke. I know. I told you. I know better. You're not gonna fool me. All these dummies. See, we don't hate people. We've got gay people too. Blacks and the chinks and fucking all types of people. What do you mean? Go fuck yourself. Not fooling me.
Wow, ladies and gentlemen. Wow. We lost like two viewers. I'm sure they were the Asian persuasion. Adam Cole is with a less than enthusiastic Kyle O'Reilly as well as Bobby Fish to talk about Atlas signing with AEW. He says maybe we should have Cole versus Atlas on Rampage to remind everyone that Cole is the guy people are talking about. Cole can even buy him a one-way ticket back to Orlando, and they tell Brandon to cut the camera afterwards. I just love Adam Cole telling us everything's fine with him and Kyle O'Reilly. Well, Kyle O'Reilly looks like he'd rather be anywhere else in the world. What did you think?
I think back to my Adam Cole's better. However, this worked. Did Kyle O'Reilly call him Landon?
Yeah. Adam Cole says, "Cut the camera off, Brandon." He says, "Yeah, Landon."
This is so childish. I'm here for this little feud there.
No, this is kind of his thing when he was in NXT. He's kind of like the new generation Jericho. How Jericho used to always mispronounce Kurt Angle and Chris Benoit. So when he was feuding with the Bruiserweights, which is Matt Riddle and Pete Dunne, Kyle O'Reilly used to call him Matthew Rydell, and Peter Dune. So I think he's just continuing on with his purposely botching of people's names. And then to kind of follow up from the MJF and Punk segment, we had our weekly Wardlow murdering, but this time with the twist. Shawn Spears is here and he lays out Wardlow's opponent, Antonio Zambrano, with a Death Valley driver, the C4, on the floor. He thinks that's going to prevent Wardlow from doing the Powerbomb Symphony and just pinning him. When instead he just does the Powerbomb Symphony even more. Instead of 4 Powerbombs, we get 5, and he beats Antonio Zambrano in 1 minute and 23 seconds. What did you think about this murdering?
It's fun. As always, I at some point we have to move past this. I assume we'll move past it next week with Punk. I know they're going with Spears trying to steal the spotlight. That feels kind of silly. I don't buy that as a general thing. So I want this to something happen with this. Either fucking have Spears overstep and Wardlow knock him out, or fuck it up. I don't know. I'm kind of over it. Sadly. Sorry.
Wow, you're over it already?
I know. I was into it a couple weeks ago.
You were into it like last week.
It was great. It was great. All right. I saw that.
Let's move on now. So EBB is saying, so what I'm hearing is I should take over as head booker.
Can't be any worse, sir. Feel free.
His idea earlier in the show. We also got Aubrey James. Thanks for joining us. First time I'm seeing you in the live chat. Remember to drop a thumbs up. Subscribe if you are new. Says Jade winning the TBS title is a mistake. I believe she is so green. It's coming from a black man who loves Jade. Why did you have to qualify your opinion?
He doesn't want to be called racist. I get you, sir. I know. I'm going off on everybody today. But to be fair, Jade did look very green, but after watching that match, Ruby Soho didn't look much better. So
we're about to get into that. You my boy Blue says Jericho's promo 1 star, Jericho's hair dye 2 stars.
That's impressive.
It's impressive. I guess there's a lot of blood count in his. Aubrey Jane says I'm sick of Chris Jericho. I guess we're all in agreement there. Ricardo says Jericho hits about 3 out of 7 times. This feud is a miss. Go away and try again later. ABB says I got 2.0 on a live mic, but it was with Jericho. A truly monkey paw claw curl moment. You want to taste? They did their best, but they didn't have much to work with, unfortunately.
Yeah, they got Jericho too late. That's a shame.
Unfortunately. Annika Wilson says Chris Jericho should have stopped when the crowd wasn't doing it. Yes, like it was like he really thought the crowd was like following along with him. Like, stop, chill, bro. Nick Jackson says I've never been so less interested in a Chris Jericho program in my life. I mean, I wasn't into that Dan Lambert program, but yeah, this is less. John Jeffrey says, did Jericho dye his hair with the same product Edge is now using for the brood bath? Yes, I think so. Bobby Benito says, I would like to see Jay Cargill versus Chris Statlander. That is actually a great match. I would be down for it. Annika Wilson says Cody is still the worst.
Fair enough.
We also got Ninja Mortis says, I think this is Proud and Powerful out of the Inner Circle. Santana and Ortiz at the end of the episode looked like they were saying goodbye to the Inner Circle after watching another team go over before them. Ortiz looked like he had tears in his eyes.
Jesus.
Wow.
That feels like, stop reading into shit so much.
Yeah, I didn't see all of that. I mean,
Osgood.
Ninja Mortis also says, no offense to Jake Atlas, but ACH should have been in AEW. What the fuck? Okay.
I have no clue why these people.
You my boy Blue says 5 stars for Jimmy's promo just now.
Very bloody, very bloody.
Everybody enjoyed your promo. We even got a super chat donation from Ricardo. Money for that epic rant. Get him. ABB says, I respectfully don't agree. Heard they wanted to sign Atlas at the start and build him similar to the 4 pillars or close to, but he chose WWE. Thinks it's a decent signing. He's good. I do agree. He is good. He is well connected with like Jungle Boy. Him and Jungle Boy had a lot of show stealing matches in PWG. That was the reason why Jungle Boy got signed to AEW and why Jake Atlas got signed to WWE. So
yes, I'm sure him being gay has absolutely nothing to do with it. It's like a pure coincidence. Absolutely. And he's some type of not from here.
He's also some type of not from here. What? What is that even supposed to mean?
Like, we're from Africa someplace. He's from someplace not there.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jimmy Macram. Next up, we have finally the finals of the TBS title tournament. Jade Cargill going one-on-one with Ruby Soho. My God, did Jade Cargill look like an absolute star. She looked amazing with some Storm Extinct gear. Her daughter was in the front row for this matchup, which was a dead giveaway, but the crowd was in Ruby Soho's corner for this one, rooting on the underdog. At one point, Mercedes Martinez came down to interfere, but Thunder Rosa came out.
Did she though? She came down to yell at her. Like an idiot.
Because the referee was right there. Oh. But I will say, Thunder Rosa coming out to have a brawl with her got a bigger reaction than anything in this match. This match just didn't really click that well. I thought that it had a nice final stretch of the matchup. It finally seemed like they were getting it together when Soho hits the Soho kick and gets a 2 count. She tries to go to the top rope, but Cargill gets her and counters into a super jaded. It looks like she was about to go to the top rope, but then decided to do that otherwise, which she should have, because the crowd like gasps when she put one foot on the top rope and it looked like she was going to do it. But when she just did it on the second rope, it just looked sloppy. So yeah, this wasn't exactly a vote of confidence for Jade Cargill, but I am happy that AEW stayed committed to her. She has been the best presentation of any female star that AEW has had from the beginning, because, you know, Britt Baker has had a great presentation, but she had to get through her cookie cutter babyface days, while Jade Cargill has been treated like a star since day one. Great moment. Love the moment with her daughter on the stage, and she is the first TBS title TBS champion, the inaugural champion. What did you think of the match? What do you think of the decision to put the title on Jade Cargill?
Once you came down to Jade and Ruby Soho, all right, I'm gonna say this. I don't want to be rude. I don't want to be mean. Never that. However, I think I'm officially ready to say Ruby Soho has been overrated by all of you. For all of you. Because I was told she was good. She was not great like the Horsewoman, but she's below that. And she hasn't been. Can we officially say she's had more performances than good performances in AEW before? Like,
I liked her match. I liked her match with Jamie Hayter. I liked her match with Britt.
Okay.
And I liked her match with Statlander.
That's 3. Great. So unless she's had 6 matches, she's had more bad matches than good ones. I think Cash called us right. She's a lovable loser. She's got a great personality. I like her music. I like her look, but she can't carry Jade. Now, to be fair, that's not exactly an easy thing to do at this stage of Jade's career. She's very green. She's not comfortable taking the offense at all. You can tell. She just looks like.
And she's thinking too much on what she's gonna do next.
Yes, and to be fair, I know this is not easy. She's like fucking 4 and baby in wrestling years. I don't know what to do. I didn't like the kid thing. I'm glad our kid got to see it. I'm glad the kid was there. I would have done all this off camera because Jade is a heel, and this is a very lovable type of thing going on. I don't want to see this at all. So I guess you just put the belt. The match was poor, but
I love how subtle you said that. Poor.
I just Mercedes Martinez. First of all, when she was attacked Thunder Rosa, she waited until the absolute last second to attack Thunder Rosa. This time, as soon as this dummy hits the outside of the ring, and Jade needs no help, by the way. Here we go. She comes down the ramp. Terrible time. The referee looked right at her. She sits there. She just starts yelling at her. And then fucking here comes Thunder Rosa right behind her. I went, this stinks. Of course, Tony had his fingerprints all over it. And then here we go. The rest of the match never got on track because Ruby saw we can't buy it. She can hurt Jade. And Jade wants to make it look good, but she can't because I'm 6 foot and this is a 90-pound woman. What am I supposed to do with this?
Yes. It was a good idea in practice, but in execution, it did not go well.
I think they expect Jade to work like Nyla Rose, and she's just not there yet. I don't know what I'm doing just yet.
I feel like Nyla Rose has more of like a poise to her. I think that's the better word. She has a better poise to her, where Jade is very good when she plays to the crowd. I just feel like she doesn't do it enough to fill in the blanks, so she's not in the ring, and it's so obvious she's trying to think to what's the next move to do or what she's going to do next, or am I on defense? Am I on offense here? If she just played to the crowd more, talk her trash a little bit more in between these spots, I think that it would make these matches feel a lot better.
Agreed. She'll get there, I think.
I think they made the right choice with putting the title on her, because I think we all said when the initial tournament was announced that this was Jade's tournament to win.
Just felt like an easy thing. Yeah, you know what? I read about Jade a little bit. Apparently, she's got a degree in one thing, and then she's got a master's degree in something else, and she played basketball, and she's obviously
that's what she does. I like when she does that.
And she's in preposterous shape, so there's no doubt she'll work at this to get better at it. Right call, I think. Rough call, dangerous call, but right call.
It is a rough call, but this is a way where she now has the title to have longer matches. That's what she needs. She needs more reps. She needs more. We're gonna have to get through a couple of rough matches to get here, but I think that she's the person that should have like a year-long run with this title, because she needs these reps and to get through, a couple of people. And then someone like Tay Conti, your Red Velvets, can dethrone her in like a year from now.
Ooh, I don't hate that. Well, it's not Ruby Soho. I'm over
it. John Jeffrey says, looks like AEW are over it now too, if they're putting Wardlow in with Punk next week.
Here's hoping. What if he just squashed Punk? Wouldn't that be hilarious?
Oh man, do the Powerbomb Symphony, like, or MJF comes in like behind the referee's back before the bell ring, knocks him out with the Dynamite Diamond Ring, and then
he gets the symphony.
Or then he gets the symphony, and that's how he loses. EBB says, I think Ruby should have won personally, but a fine match. I like that Jade didn't keep trying to climb up to the top rope, instead staying on the middle to hit the avalanche. Jaded. Yeah, I mean, if you're not confident you're gonna get up there, it's the right move to do it from the second ropes. And me and Jimmy both, and this is a rare thing that we both predict Ruby Soho, she loses, and Cash was right to pick Jade Cargill. We went against what we said from the beginning because we didn't feel Jade was ready after last week's match with Thunder Rosa, which that was a better match than this one. So
sadly, it's almost as if Thunder Rosa is the best person in this tournament. I don't understand why some people thought Ruby Soho would be so fucking over that she needed to be in the finals. You fucking dope.
And that's why Thunder Rosa is going to be the next AEW Women's World Champion.
Yes, after this Mercedes Martinez feud.
Absolutely. That's who she beats to get there. And they're going to have a war.
What?
They're going to have a war. It's going to be a war with them. We got Annika Wilson says Thunder Rosa versus Cargill would have been a better ending. I do agree there. and they had history going in. But this was a nice little thing to give to Ruby Soho. She made it to the finals.
Give to her. We've done nothing but give to her. We've given her since she's got here. How much is she gonna take?
She's taken and taken and taken. You, my boy Blue, says, yeah, she's a little green, but you can't deny that Jade looks like a star. She's built like a damn superhero. Won't be long before she's getting offers from Hollywood. I do agree there. She's the type of, she's like a transition, like a transformative type of star that could get into like movies and whatnot. And like I said this, and I'm not saying this facetiously. She's being built like this generation's Goldberg. Like, Goldberg wasn't that good 21 matches in. And Jade is at least better. I feel Jade is better at what she can do. She's better at than the things that Goldberg really couldn't do even a year into his run. So Jade is getting there, and the more reps she gets, she'll be fine. You, my boy Blue, says, I see her being like the Batista of women's wrestling.
I think Batista's at this point. Well, I don't know, but I always thought Batista's a little underrated as far as the wrestler goes.
I agree there. Annika Wilson says, please use Mercedes Martinez. It will help Jade until she gets better. Yeah, I think that's the reason why they kind of associated her with Mercedes Martinez, because you got someone who's a legend in women's wrestling that can only help Jade.
This is true. And you know,
previously, her only mentor was Brandy Rose.
Oh my God, seriously?
Yeah.
How do we not give her a pass? How do we not give her all the passes? She's learning from a not wrestling. And not a good one either. I'm sorry. Can you teach me how to be black?
Kid Get Money says, I was live at the Jade Cargill and Shaq match, so I'm always going to be a fan of hers. Yep. You saw the star potential from the very beginning with her, from that initial promo with Cody, and they've treated her like a star. She's been in feuds with the Rhodes, but she was in the first match with Shaq. Even her feud with Red Velvet was featured more than a lot of other women's feuds.
It was.
But I know one thing with you. You have said a lot of things negative about the TBS title tournament. One thing I will say, I think they did well with this tournament to create stories for a lot of different people coming out of it. Chris Statlander loses in the second round to Ruby Soho. She's now involved in this whole story with Layla Hirsch turning heel, which was highlighted on this episode of Dynamite. You got Hikaru Shida and Serena Deeb, who came into the feuding. They're coming out of the feud. Still, they're coming out of this tournament still feuding. You got now Ruby Soho. She's going to do something with Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter. She's going to be in a tag match with Riho on Friday's Rampage. So, and Thunder Rosa and Mercedes Martinez have their feud going. So a lot of different people have stuff coming out of it. I think they did a really good job with this tournament. Could it have been better? Could it have been a little bit shorter? Yeah, of course. But for how they did it, I think they accomplished a lot out of it.
Yes, on a scale of like let's say 1 to 10, I give it overall a 7. It was a passable job. I got a lot accomplished. On a Tony Khan scale, it's probably like a 10. Because we know he's not competent and he hates women. So that's like incredible to pull that off. Good job, sir. I'm just saying, good job. I'm giving you credit, sir. You want?
So we made it over an hour into the show, and yes, I will be asking Jimmy Macram about the tweet because we just saw Jade Cargill became the first ever TBS champion. But it hasn't been all positivity towards Jade Cargill. Of course, there's certain people that want to point out that she is, a little green. There's going to be some people that point out that they think that she only won due to what Tony Khan had to say. What happened over last week after we did AEWramble, literally the same day, I think that Thursday, or was it Thursday? No, it was Friday. This was on New Year's Eve that the podcast came out, the call-in show with Big Swole, where she addressed diversity in AEW and her time and her experience there. She talked about how the women, don't really get the type of opportunities or deserve more time to, get their reps in. Having 2 to 3 minute matches on Dark doesn't satisfy them the way they do. And, when you're signing more people, it puts people down and down the line. And then she also addressed diversity. It's a very nuanced conversation. And I think that Big Swole, addressed it in the most respectful and mannerable way possible if you listened to the podcast or saw what she actually had to say. Unfortunately, Tony Antoine Khan did not do that. He did not listen to the podcast. He did not read what she had to say. I think that he responded to the headline, and he put out a tweet saying that the top 2 executives in AEW are himself and Mega, who are both brown and both are ethnicity. He then listed a list of talent from Max Caster to Nyla Rose to the Private Party, who have Dante Martin, who have won matches on TV over the past month. He then said the TBS title tournament was also very diverse. And then, these are all, okay, yes, it's a little much that he's saying all of this, but he's defending his company. Fair enough, fair sport. It's the last line that got me, and that's just unprofessional, uncalled for, and I have to agree with Jimmy Macram in calling him Dummy Khan. He says that Big Swole's contract wasn't renewed because her wrestling wasn't good enough, and then says hashtag AEW Rampage tonight, street fight tonight. What was your thoughts on what Big Swole had to say, Jimmy, and then Tony Khan's reaction?
Like you said, I think nuance is a great word for what Flo was talking about. I thought she was trying to be rather polite in the way she said it. Unfortunately, I'm not gonna say this is an age, because I'm sure it was like that before me, where people just see a headline, bank blows up. That's what happened. All right, okay, bank blew up. I don't need to read anything else about it, or how somebody actually farted in the bank, which is what they were actually talking about. It wasn't actually blowing up. So Duncan and Mark's Cash, no matter what he says, I don't care what he says. He can show me footage of him sitting there reading it. I don't believe you. I've been here 20 years. You do not sit down and read that. Stop it. And lots of others took that headline and ran with it. Now, his response, I'm going to take it in 2 parts. The first response, which is, let me name all the darkies that have won a match this last month, is such a preposterous. First of all, the fact that you could do it in a tweet is already not the greatest sign in the world. And the fact that you had space in there to talk about other stuff. It's 280 characters. Where's all the space coming from where you can do all this in one tweet? It doesn't say much about you, sir. That's number 1. Number 2, the Big Swole thing. It's cheap. And none of this helped anybody, including himself. Defending his company doesn't need defending. But if you wanted to defend it, how about this? Off the top of my fucking head. We thank Big Swole for her time at AEW. She was a great soldier, whatever the appropriate word for that is, wrestler, teammate, employee. We do believe AEW is a diverse company. We try our best, but we will continue to make strides in that area. Period. Full stop. No need for any of this nonsense. We're done.
Yes. We're done.
That's the best.
That's the best response possible.
Don't want to believe me. I told you after the Chris Jericho thing. It was a podcast. What's Jericho's podcast called? Something is Jericho. That's not important. After he shat all over Chris Jericho over that Matt Hardy teleportation thing, and he made sure to remove himself from any blame. I told you this is not a good dude. I know dudes like this. Those are the people when they ask you what's your biggest weakness in an interview, he goes that I work too hard. That's the horseshit he did in that Jericho podcast, and I know that guy. And then it was the woman's tweet. It was like, "Shut up, lady. I don't hear any bunch of stupid questions. I'll tell you, we love bitches here. We've got plenty of bitches on the roster." He is the worst. I tried to tell you, and you refuse to listen. Now, I'm not saying he's a racist or a sexist, at least not of the highest level. I'm just saying he's an ass. He's a billionaire ass, and it is what it is. Can we stop? That's what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Listen, I can't even knock him all the way. He's been a billionaire, not a billionaire, but he's been rich his whole fucking life. Isn't his dad like a gazillionaire? It is. It is what it is. It is what it is. I can't knock it all the way. Why would he ever have to take criticism?
And this
Like,
was
it works out, and when it doesn't, I get bailed out. What do you want from me?
this was Tony Khan's reaction to everybody getting upset over his tweet.
I love how he wants everybody to be held accountable.
Oh boy, yes, I had to give Jimmy the floor for that, ladies and gentlemen. I just had to.
Hey, pissed off what's his face? Leo Rush.
Yes.
Mad props to him. Props to him. I thought he had the perfect.
I didn't like that some people, because he put out his second tweet, after he removed the first tweet, basically saying that he talked to Tony Khan and he did what you had to do. If you still work with the company, yes, you're going to be angry in the moment and you're going to call them out. But the right thing to do is to have a conversation and be like, this is why I'm angry. What are you going to do to fix the real issue here? Because the way you addressed it was wrong. And he did that, and he put out a statement basically saying that he had that conversation with them. He's doing the only thing he can do. So I have respect for Leo Rush for coming out and saying something.
Same. I loved what he said. I love the second tweet. I'm not knocking guys like Hobbs who stood up for Tony Khan. Listen, you're entitled to your opinion. You're entitled to feel the way you feel. You have the experience. You say he's not this, he's not that. He gave you all that. I believe you. I'm just saying what this is, and this is a cuntish tweet. That's it.
Absolutely. And we're all in agreement there. CC Kingston says Jimmy was right. I'm sorry, I doubted you, Jimmy.
Welcome back.
There you go. EBB says, as a millionaire owner, how he doesn't know when to shut up and just take criticism on board is baffling to me.
Because he's not a millionaire owner. His dad is a millionaire or billionaire, and he's gotten rich off of that. So he didn't have to work his way up through criticism to get it. I bet his dad could take criticism.
Probably so. Annika says, unleash the Jimmy. Unleash the Kraken. We got EBB with not pulling any punches here. Says, I love Jade, but she's shit in the ring. It's okay to say it. And it ain't her fault. She's only been wrestling for a year. I don't mind her being green. Shouldn't have won the title. No.
Put on Thunder Rosa.
No, you're just saying that because you know what's going to happen. You know what's going to happen. You can
do title versus title. Put the belt on Thunder Rosa. Rusev stinks. Put on Thunder Rosa. Do the title versus title. Move on.
Ninja Mortis echoing that. Ruby's good, but she can't carry someone, period. She has good to great matches with good to great performers. And meh with meh. That's actually I won't say that's not too off base. That actually sounds off. That actually sounds on point to me.
Okay, so then I would say if the last half of that statement is accurate, how does that make the first half accurate? That doesn't make her good. That makes her average if she simply matches with whoever she's against.
Yeah, you could call her average. That's fine.
Average,
yeah. Frantic World believes the Jade match was good. So, Bobby Bonito says, I would like to see Tony Storm and Ember Moon show up in AEW. They definitely, I would say they need to slow down on the male signings, but the female signings you can do with some stars like that. I think it would, especially when you have two titles now, you need to kind of have that split where these are the women that are going for the AEW Women's World Championship. These are the women that are for the TBS title that are not ready yet to get into the World Heavyweight division.
Do you feel like we're going to do not a brand split, but a informative brand split? Because one would imagine Jade's going to be on Dynamite since it's on TBS, and therefore Cody and them are going to be on Rampage. I don't hate that idea, but whatever.
I don't hate it either, and they kind of been teasing that by having Cody defend the title on Rampage the last 2 weeks. So I wouldn't. We could see that. Annika says Jade was winning no matter what. The Big Swole tweet was just bad timing. Yes, I do. I think we're all in agreement that Jade was the plan. This says one has nothing to do with the other. Slam and Sammy Joe says AEW does need guys like Swerve and Keith Lee. Let's be real. The only black guy in AEW who can challenge for the world title right now is Scorpio Sky. That I don't agree with that. I'm sure Hobbs will get there eventually, though. Ricky Starks is at the top of my list. Dante Martin, you could have him win some fluke battle royal and get a fluke title shot like easily. Like, this is wrestling. You can't tell me that there's only one black guy who can challenge for the world title, and it's the black guy that has other white guys talking for him. Like, Powerhouse Hobbs could get a big win on somebody and be heat up to the world title scene because he looks like a world title contender. Ricky Starks can do the same because he can talk like a world title contender. You have these guys that are at their peak in these different things, whether it be look, whether it be on the mic, whether it be with their high flying style. You can get them to the main event scene. You can't tell me there's only one black guy. That was true in 2019. It's 2022. AEW, and that's why I said this is a nuanced conversation because I believe it's both things. AEW's roster from top to bottom is very diverse. Also, AEW's main event scene is very white. Both things can be the same, and both things can be facts. And it's factual that there is no African American representation in their main event scene. And I think that was one of the points that was missed in what Big Swole was saying with her daughter. And as someone with kids, when my kids are growing up and I show them AEW, I want them to be someone in the main event scene that looks like them, that represents them. Right now, there isn't.
100% agreed. Well said. And I will say this, if I want to take another shot at Tony Khan. What if, I'm just saying, what if Keith Lee felt the same way about that tweet that I did? So what good did that tweet do, you stupid? I just don't, it's so short-sighted I'm gonna clap back and say what I gotta say. You're an idiot. You're dope. Hopefully he doesn't.
Very true. We got EBB saying Rosa for AEW Women's World Champion.
There's lots of things she could do. She could be the TBS champ. We got this feud with Mercedes Martinez. You might want to do some other stuff here. Don't try to force things on her. Let her do what she wants.
I love it. I love it. It's like, yo, Jimmy's like someone that doesn't want it to rain despite the weather report saying that it's like, it's not gonna rain. It's not gonna rain today. Maybe tomorrow. Like,
that's hilarious.
I love it. I love it. Next up was Malachi Black going one-on-one with Brian Pillman Jr. Nothing much to say here. Black destroys Brian Pillman Jr. after he slips on the top rope with the Air Pillman and knocks him out with the Black Mass. After the match, it looks like he's about to attack Julia Hart, who's now returned with the eye patch intact and seemed kind of distraught on the outside. I liked her acting of like just like every time Black hit something big on Pillman, she was like, like she was having a flashback and shit. After the match, the Lucha Bros came down and reminded us, Jimmy, they heard you. Had that Pac got his eye gouged out by Malachi Black. Lights go out. We think Brody King is going to debut. Lights come back on, and basically Malachi Black just walked past the Lucha Bros.
This is why ever since fucking Punk MJF left, the show has been a complete mess. When Tony Khan left to his own devices, stinks. This all stinks, from Chris Jericho to the women's title match to this nonsense where, first of all, why are we still trying with Brian Pillman Jr.? Why are we still giving this a shot? Nobody in the crowd even gave half a fuck about Brian Pillman Jr. And nobody ever has outside of his hometown, which I guess we're still holding on to. I don't know why. Griff Garrison to me has more potential. I'm going to assume he's younger. He at least looks younger. And is not a dope like Brian Pillman Jr. is. Let's just move on. And then we get Malachi Black. First of all, the fact he had to beat him because he tripped like an idiot. First, it does nothing for anybody. Didn't make Brian Pillman Jr. look good. He looked like a fucking idiot. It made fucking Malachi Black like he needed help. And then the Lucha Brothers come out. The lights turn off because either he's the Undertaker or he's got connections where he can fucking talk to the fucking arena guys. Boo to all of this. Even the Lucha Bros coming out would have made me happy, except we're several weeks late. And more importantly, if you saw the video package they did, they only showed the mist into Pac's eyes. They didn't even show the eye gouging. I think it was too violent, and we're gonna erase that from history. Oh,
it was too violent. Too violent.
Oh, TBS stinks.
He tried to take his eyeball out, man. It was fucked up. Britt Baker mocks Ruby Soho for losing again, but Soho says that's funny coming from someone who can't win without help. Soho brings up Baker not being able to beat Riho, so Baker decks her, and this cues Riho for a pull apart brawl, and it sets up Riho and Ruby Soho versus Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter next week. This Friday on Rampage, which I'm gonna be watching. I'm gonna be very interested in. Did you like the promo from Britt?
I don't know who that is. We haven't seen
Goat Breaker.
We haven't seen Britt Baker when she turned heel. I hope she's doing all right. But this Goat Baker is a solid replacement. What was I gonna say?
Lost my train of thought.
I thoroughly like this segment. I liked it a lot. Goat Baker is fantastic as per always. I thought Ruby Soho. I think Dummy might have nailed it when he called her lovable loser. I felt bad for her here. I felt like she's a good actress. Again, at least Riho making the save is a little more believable than Nyla Rose hiding coming out of nowhere. Riho a little more hideable. That's fine. I liked it. I like how Jamie Hayter went to go hit Ruby Soho again after she was down. I found her hilarious.
Despite how you feel, Ruby Soho, depending on what you feel about her skills, I think they are creating a nice little story of her being a lovable loser, having these big matches, losing. Eventually, she's going to get the big win because AEW has already told the story with other people before, so there's fate there. Unlike in WWE, she just kept losing and losing and losing, and you never knew if it was ever going to pay off or not. And then eventually you realize it wasn't. And it didn't. We also got a promo to promote Rampage from QT Marshall and Aaron Solo are ready for Hook, as it's going to be Solo versus Hook. We heard from the background a little bit of QT Marshall having Hook at his school, and he never did anything but show up late, eat chips, and stretch people. So Soho says, stretch him if you can, survive if he lets you. Pause. What did you think about this promo?
I don't know. I put her on mute. I watched it live. And I usually fast forward. I watch it live, so I hit mute. I have no interest in what Solo has to say or QT Marshall. I'm sorry.
Understandable, sir. And then finally, it was the AEW World Tag Team titles on the line. The Lucha Bros, Rey Fenix and Penta El Zero Miedo versus Jurassic Express, Jungle Boy, and Luchasaurus. Christian Cage was in Jurassic Express corner, while Alex Abrahantes was in the Lucha Bros corner. This one was a spot fest early on with Jungle Boy and Rey Fenix just meshing very well with each other. Yes, this spot I knew would get Jimmy upset for sure. But then after the commercial break, it became just big move after big move. Luchasaurus came in running over the champs. They come back with but nothing has changed. But so Luchasaurus breaks up the Spike feel factor on the apron when the Lucha Bros tried to hit it on Jungle Boy. With that cut off, Penta drapes Jungle Boy on the top rope, and he hits his own Spike fear factor on the apron as Phoenix dives onto Luchasaurus on the outside. At that point, Alex Abrahantes lays out a table at ringside. This makes Christian chase him off. It's Luchasaurus who chokeslam Rey Fenix through a table, and I'm just gonna say viewers' discretion is advised. If you don't want to see this, I would say pause, wait 10 seconds, and then fast forward. This was the result of the choke slam with Rey Fenix posting on his arm and his body falling on top completely the wrong way. It was considered a broken arm last night early on by those backstage. It has later been confirmed as a dislocation. that leaves Penta in with Jungle Boy. He tries for Made in Japan, but Jungle Boy reverses into a cradle to get to victory for new AEW World Tag Team Champions. A huge moment, the biggest win in Jungle Boy's career. His mom and sister were at ringside crying. It was a great moment. He took the tag team titles, looked up to the sky to his father, Luke Perry. A great moment for him. Bunch of the tag team division came out to the ramp after the match. Chris Jericho, Malachi Black were in the audience in the crowd watching from high above as well, and a bunch of tag teams came out to basically stare down with Jurassic Express after the match, as they are the new AEW World Tag Team Champions, fulfilling Christian's prophecy that they would win. So Jurassic Express, Jungle Boy, Luchasaurus, new AEW World Tag Team Champions. Jimmy, what did you think about the match? And do you think it was the right decision to change the titles?
Well, fucking clearly after fucking Phoenix's arm, definitely the right decision. The first half of the match, I thought that entire thing away. That shit was awful. It was garbage. It was everything I hated about Young Bucks matches. I just so annoyed. I was so mad, especially with JR there. I could just feel him getting mad with me. But it picked up big time. I thoroughly enjoyed it towards the end. This is the right spot for Jungle Boy, I think. He needs a belt. I think he's the only one outside of MJF who hasn't won anything, right? Of the big four.
Yeah.
Big five, if you go Baker, because she's obviously the number 2 pillar behind MJF. That's what it is. That aside, I thought this was the right call. Jungle Boy needs a belt. Lucha Bros have done a lot already. FTR, Young Bucks. Essentially, that's all you really need to do in the tag division, and then you can leave. I don't know how this plays into the Christian thing. I said maybe we're going to move this even further back than I thought we were going to. Maybe, I don't know, 4 months, 3 months. Sadly, makes me very sad. But I like the call.
Yeah, I mean, there was only 1 or 2 results here. It was them pulling the trigger maybe too soon on the Christian heel turn, because they've like put the seed down, but they haven't even watered the seed of Christian turning on Jurassic Express. They've firmly established that they are a unit, and they needed this big win to kind of make the later turn mean more, because Christian has helped them to this big victory. I mean, I enjoyed the match for what it was, especially the second half of the match, when I felt like it was less of like choreographed spots. It was more of like just
growth, yes.
Great sequences and good tag team offense. But man, oh man, I think everybody's just gonna remember poor Rey Fenix. What was your reaction to this injury?
I did notice it the first time, but when they showed the replay, I went, "Oh my god, he broke his whole arm." Because I texted you, I think. Because I saw him point, and I went, that doesn't seem like the proper spot for that. It seems like you should pretend to be dead. How does this not happen? I don't know whose fault it is. I read a lot of people saying it was Luchasaurus' fault because he didn't put him further out enough or too far out or something. Hey, sounds right to me.
I think it was Rey Fenix's fault. He tried to post on his arm. Like, that's not how you're supposed to take a choke slam off the apron through a table.
Okay, I'll take you guys' word for it. I mean, how long is Luchasaurus in wrestling? I want to put this on Luchasaurus so bad. I gotta believe that.
Why?
Because Rey Fenix jumps off of buildings. I would imagine he knows how to land. He knows what he's doing. Fuck it. I'm glad he's not nearly as hurt as I thought he was. And the way the laws of gravity determine he should have a broken arm, and somehow he does not. He is superhuman. I assume now we're gonna get more Penta says, like we were going to before they put them back together for some reason. Whatever. Fine, sure.
Maybe we get a Penta Malachi Black feud.
Ooh, what happened to Pax? He hurt?
I think he's just taking his his sabbaticals in the UK where he doesn't want to come back to America.
Such a fucking weirdo. I thought he was so annoyed that he couldn't make it up the ranks in fucking WWE, and now he just frequently takes time off in AEW to do his own thing. Whatever. Hey, enjoy your life, sir. I'm not mad at it.
Annika says next time the lights go out, someone good better be there. Yeah, because the lights went out during this match.
I know, right?
And
Not with the lights.
the Lucha Bros can say that they were on their way to winning before the lights went out because they were setting up for their finisher, and then the lights went out, and then they dropped him. So okay. Malachi Black inconsequentially helped them lose. EBB says Brian Pillman Jr. really hasn't made the most of these mini feuds with MJF and Malachi. Think Griff has more potential, to be honest.
He's just not good.
Will you stop? I think
Brian Pillman Jr. is good.
I think he has potential.
Good potential. He's 38 years old.
He's not 38.
Potential.
He's like 27.
How old's Griff? Griff's like 12. We're going with Griff. We're going with Griff over Brian Pillman Jr.
Griff gives me young Edge vibes.
Cash did the same thing.
He does come off like that.
He's built like that. That's it.
That too.
What about everything else?
Adam Copeland.
His skill.
Sammy Slam and Sammy Joe says, I love to see Arquette and Jungle Boy do something together considering the history between Luke Perry.
No.
I'm okay with David Arquette not being on AEW. I'm totally fine with that. EVB says, boo Romeo for screenshotting that. Goddamn, hope Phoenix is all right and comes back healthy.
Well, he's all right. He'll come back healthy. I'm not sure how long. He's always hurt.
Ninja Mortis says only heel tag teams, if I'm correct. Yeah, it seemed like there was only the heel tag teams that were on the ramp.
So can we acknowledge how corny that was? Are we not going to acknowledge that?
It was pretty corny. It was pretty corny. It didn't need to be the entire tag team division. I would have just dug like Jericho, Malachi Black, Santana and Ortiz. I'm in the crowd. I would have just done that, kept it at that. Because Santana and Ortiz is just a figure that should be there. Maybe even Red Dragon. I feel like now that Jurassic Express are the champs, I feel like Red Dragon are going to be the ones to dethrone him. Because it makes sense with the whole story with Jurassic Express and Christian Cage beating Super Click.
Okay.
We got a question. Eddie James asking us what happened to Marco Stunt. He was injured and now he's a contestant on The Voice. So while he's
things,
yeah.
What?
John Jeffrey says, how long until Christian gets jealous and turns on Jungle Boy now? I think we're a few months away now.
Yeah, it feels longer than I thought. 3, 4, 5 months. Jesus.
Yeah. We got Negro Buck says, great win for Jurassic Express. Happy for Jungle Boy. Just hope Phoenix is all right. EBB says MJF is the only of the pillars to not win a title, which is a great character beat. Intentional or not, they'll keep bringing that up when the eventual fatal 4-way happens years down the line.
Jesus, years.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon. The one match that I think between the pillars that needs to happen in 2022 is the only singles match we haven't seen yet, which is Jungle Boy versus Sammy Guevara.
I gotta be honest, I don't consider them important enough to.
They are. To be fair, they are 3 and 4 of the 4 pillars.
4 and 5. Sorry.
Thank you. Okay, sure. Annika says, I think the table was too close to the ring.
It definitely looked like Phoenix was too far out. I just wasn't sure whose fault it was.
Yeah, I think it's. I'm gonna say Phoenix. I will.
It feels weird. Us fucking saying Ray Phoenix doesn't know how to fall.
I don't know. It is weird. It's just weird. It was just weird. Nick Jackson echoing that, saying it wasn't on Luchasaurus. Phoenix shouldn't have posted on the fall. You never do that when you fall in wrestling. I've seen a few people break arms like that in high school.
You know what LeBron should have did? Let me tell you something from my couch. He should have did this, that, and this. This feels weird to me. I'm just saying.
Oh, I love it. Annika Wilson says, so we're not getting Proud and Powerful versus Lucha Bros?
No.
Unfortunately,
Sorry.
no. Unfortunately, no. But yes, we have made it to the end of AEW Dynamite. Jimmy, you know what time it is. Put your thumbs in the middle. We are going to decide, do we give a thumbs up or thumbs down for the January 5th, 2022 edition of AEW Dynamite TBS debut in 3, 2, 1. Wow, he went thumbs up, ladies and gentlemen. Out of 10, what did you give the show, Jimmy?
6. 6. 6. I'm just sorry. Dragon Hangman was fantastic. You know what? 6.5 because I like the MJF Punk stuff. But almost everything else, except the back half of the tag team match, you can throw right in the garbage. I never need to see any of this again. Go Big had a fun segment. We didn't talk about the Deeb JR interview.
Man, yes, I missed out on that. I apologize. That was a very effective promo by Serena Deeb. They also confirmed that Serena Deeb will go one-on-one with Hikaru Shida next week. She Deeb 4. But yeah, that was a really strong promo. Deeb just is on fire in our promos. She just is very confident, and she's being given the opportunity to cut some really good promos.
I paid enough dues for all the bitches back there. God damn it! I said, go ahead.
She said she's done with trying to have respectful matches with Hikaru Shida. She's beat her by flukes too many times, and now it's about hurting Shida because this has gone too far. No one is on her level, and she'll prove that next week against Shida.
I love her so much.
The professor, the woman of 1,000 holds. I love it. Out of 10, I'm gonna give this show an 8 out of 10. I thought the opener was one of the best Dynamite matches of all time. I thought CM Punk and MJF had an effective angle with the DQ finish, as well as the promo was great. I thought the main event was very good. And I thought Jade Cargill winning the TBS championship was a great moment. But, there were some things that were a little bit off, so it's not a perfect or a high score like a 9.
Chris Jericho cut one of the worst segments of the year.
It's only one episode in!
Of the last 12 months.
No, not worse than Brandy's last week.
Oh, okay. That doesn't count. That's different. That's a different level. That's something else entirely. Fucking Brian Pillman, Malachi Black having a mess that nobody gave a fuck about. The women's title match stunk. The first half of the main event was a fucking ballerina contest. This stinks.
Will you stop? What was your match of the night?
Hangman and Dragon.
Unanimous. MVP?
Dragon. God damn it.
I'm going Hangman.
Blasphemy.
I'm sorry.
The Jumpin' Jack.
Jumpin' Jack sealed the MVP, man. Sealed it. LVP, I'm going with Chris Jericho or Chris Jericho's hair dye. Who you got?
I kind of want to go Chris Jericho too. I'm going to go with Tony Khan because, it kind of sucked, bro. You're hateable. That's why. Look at that face. Oh, you shouldn't be as hateable as you are. You don't even have a hateable face.
He's only getting it for his tweet, not for the show.
His tweet, his yelling at the announcer. No, what are you talking about? He booked the Pillman fucking that shit, right? He booked the lights to go out 4 fucking times and nothing happened. Come on, enough of this. And wait a minute. Go to EVB here real quick. The second to last.
Which, 9 out of 10?
You know what should have happened?
Oh. Yeah. You know what should have happened? What they should have done as I sit on my couch coming from you, Jimmy?
I'm talking about criticizing a performer for his performance. Tony Khan sits on his couch made up of Tony Khan sits on his couch and he does awful things. Meanwhile, I sit on my couch and I correct him.
You say awful things.
That's what his couch is made up of. Just abused women on their knees as he puts his feet up.
I can't with this guy. EBB says 9 out of 10 because of Hangman versus Danielson alone. Any show with that kind of match gets a big score for me. I don't care about the weird second hour. That
Weird.
opener was phenomenal.
Bad. Is that code for it stunk?
It wasn't a bad second
Weird.
hour.
It was a weird second hour.
Will you stop? EBB says MVP Hangman, LVP Jericho. Ninja Mortis says Jimmy got worse takes than sad.
That's hilarious.
Annika and Ninja Mortis giving the show a thumbs up, and we got Annika saying, "Oh my god."
I'm just saying, somebody needs to save those women, and I'm here for it. Since nobody else wants to help.
Jimmy, where can the people find you, sir?
At Jimmy Macram on Twitter, on YouTube, on Instagram. I don't really use most of them, except on Twitter, where I got into an argument with Dummy. And had to mute him eventually as I was over it.
You muted Cash?
Oh, Jesus, we're going back and forth. This Dummy! Oh, he goes, they push lots of people. They push Dante, they push Red Velvet. First of all, how are Dante and Red Velvet in the same push category? Enough of this conversation. I'm out. Yeah.
I've not stopped laughing through this whole outro. You can find me on the Twitter machine at TrueHeelSP3. I'll be back on YouTube in about 10 minutes over on Fightful Wrestling YouTube channel with Jeremy Lambert and Joseph Holbert for another edition of the Distraction Podcast. So go over there and join us for a good time. We're going to be talking about Dynamite. We're going to be talking about Wrestle Kingdom, talking about the week, the events yet to come from the week from AEW and around the wrestling world. So get ready for that as well. And check out the Believe in Pro Wrestling podcast wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. And True Hill Heat will be coming to the Teddy Turnbuckle YouTube channel, as we'll be doing a special SmackDown post show starting this Friday, starring Romeo, Josh, and Miss Chrissy Love. So True Hill Heat is expanding to more YouTube channels, so check it out. And of course, if you want to be a supporter even more of True Hill Heat, patreon.com/True Hill Heat, and you could become a $3 backer a month for exclusive content from True Hill Heat, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at True Hill Heat. And there's a bunch of great content to enjoy on the channel. We had NX3 this week, as well as Rated Raw Superstars, both live watch-alongs, as well as New Japan Pro Wrestling Wrestle Kingdom 16's Night 1 and 2 we did a watch-along for. Those are up on the channel right now. The Best of True Hill Heat in 2021 is on the channel right now. Live later on tonight, 10:15 p.m. Eastern Time, we got the return of Blunt Impact with the Go Home show ahead of Impact Hard to Kill on Saturday. And on Saturday, we are doing our live watch along for Impact Hard to Kill. You can see the ROH and Impact World Championships being defended in Dallas, Texas, as well as Mickie James versus Deonna Purrazzo in a Texas death match. We'll be watching that live, as well as AEW Battle of the Belts watch along on Saturday with Britt Baker versus Riho, Cody Rhodes versus Sammy Guevara. Romeo and the gang will be here live. Tomorrow, we're dropping our exclusive interview with the one, the only, the baddest of all time, Shane Taylor, the new free agent, former performer for ROH, former ROH television champion and six-man tag team champion, the leader of Shane Taylor Promotions. He gives his feelings on ROH Final Battle, his feelings on ROH cutting away from his moment after his match, plus much, much more. And then on Saturday, we go live 11:05 a.m. Eastern Time, True Hill Heat 157, talking about Wrestle Kingdom, talking about Hangman Danielson, William Regal fired from WWE, Brock Lesnar, new WWE champion, plus much, much more. Final question, Jimmy. Do you think AEW should hire William Regal to be a scout for them, like he's been a great scout for WWE all these years after his release yesterday?
They should hire William Regal to do whatever he likes. Scout, book, get in the ring, and fucking throw real punches with Dragon. I'm here for all of it. Yes, please.
You had me at anything with Dragon. For Jimmy Macram, it is me, your True Hill Phenom, SP3. Hit that like, share, subscribe, comment if you're watching us on demand. Thank you all for joining us live. This has been AEWramble episode 24. Return to the Mothership. We are signing off until next time.